Hello and welcome to another F-Zero recreation livery video with Captain JJ. Last time round we did the Iron Tiger 04. This time round we are going for the Fire Stingray, which is number 5, which is driven by Samurai Goroh and the second of the original 4 machines. The Honda NSX concept is again used as the canvas, so let's jump into it. First off, we did the pink colour, and that was used by a rough. And then I had a bit of an error which was cut there to start the back of it. The back of it is yellow, predominantly pink. This is based on the F-Zero GX version of the Fire Stingray, which has a little bit of lines underneath which are yellow. So what I'm trying to do here is just make sure I cover the back of the machine, which is yellow. Now, as I previously mentioned in the Iron Tiger video, I found some new quicker techniques to make these machine creations a little bit easier, which I will be getting onto shortly. But first off, we are just starting to cover the wheel in yellow. So what I've done here is done the first part, and what I do here is duplicate on the opposite side so it looks exactly the same on vice versa. So now we go to the rear of the machine and cover that part, the last little part as well. So what we're doing here is selecting the square tiles to make sure we cover the rest of the backside, like so. Everything is yellow on the back aside from the rear wing, which will be untouched in the colour department, and we will be continuing that side here. And there we go. Let's have another look at this. So once we've covered the rear, we're going to colour each layer in a darker yellow. We can only use the colours which are on the canvas, which means that we can't use any special colours. So I'm just deciding which one to use. I've made my decision on it, and now what we're going to do is do the same on the other sides, the middle, left and the right. So let's get those colours in, and there we go. That is the rear of the machine complete in a nice little orangey colour to match the fire sort of area. Now in the GX version it has a little pattern which I'm just about to show you, but I'm unable to replicate because it doesn't have a little fork thing on it, which is a little bit of a flaw. So what I'm going to do instead is use a Gran Turismo logo version of it, because this is Gran Turismo 7. I'm creating it in Gran Turismo 7, and this is the Fire Stingray, which has the little things on the side of it. There are quite a few of them, so this would have taken a longer time if I hadn't discovered what I could do with the duplications. So what we're going to do now is just have a look, see which one it is, which one goes best. Use that one because of the fire section. So what I'm going to do here is place it on the bottom here, like so. And what I'm going to do is match the colour of what I used earlier. Now I'm going to be duplicating. Now we're going to speed this up a little bit. We're going to be duplicating it on symmetrically and opposite. Symmetrically, even not the opposite. Well, you get the idea. So, okay, that's not quite the right area. So what I'm going to do is have a GT logo showing in one direction, and then I'm going to symmetrically flip it on the other side so it shows the other one. Now, of course, it is mirrored a little bit because of the, well, how do you call it? It is mirrored simply because of the fact that the logos are not the same. If it did left and right, that would have been fine, but unfortunately, we don't deal with that. So what I'm doing here is duplicating on each side so that it covers the rear of the machine, like so. Now, this is a little bit of a tedious process, but fortunately, because of the duplicates, we're able to go through this a little bit more quickly. Now I'm just checking to see whether it all matches up here. The bottom part is untouched, so what we're doing here is up the top towards the middle, and we're not touching the bottom section because that doesn't have anything on it. So just moving on a little bit, making sure it all lines up. Oh, I don't know, there we go. Yep, that's fine. I've just moved up a little bit more slightly there just to make sure it looks good as well. So duplicate. Well, what we're doing here on one side is make sure I duplicate, and then I duplicate symmetrically, which means it duplicates the same bit on the same area but on the opposite side. So now we move on to the rear wing, and now I'm going to do exactly the same as what I did on the left and the right hand side, and I am going to do it now on the rear wing, like so. So get that started in. And now we're going to speed this along a little bit because this is just duplications, time of process. Okay, and someone decides to use Google at the same time as me trying to say, no, do not come in here. Never mind. So what I'm doing here is exactly the same principle as what I did earlier. Do that to replicate the flames, and now I'm going to color each one in. As I said, tedious process because of the amount of logos which I did to try and match it. But because of the duplication, it makes it a little bit more easier, which is nice. It shouldn't take too long here just to do all this once you get the know-how. The most important thing to do when you're doing these machine recreations is research the machine. Think of a plan of what you're going to do with that machine and then implement it in game. Sometimes it's best to do a practice run so you don't get overly delayed, but I haven't done that in the last few machines. It's something which I need to look into next time round so I can improve it further. So that part, if everything is done, then I've realised I've got to do the middle section. So what I'm going to do is exactly the same principle as I did earlier. And what I'm going to do for the last one, it's only 5 here because of the winglet part there, which means I'm not going to cover it. I'm not going to be able to cover it. So that bit's done. So now what we're going to do is to just a simple number this time around. Got to check on the favorite side because it was uploaded. Hiratsu Sonic X, thank you very much for managing to import the GB Legend number 05, which is the Fire Stingray. I was debating using the Forza number, but then I thought, nah, hold on a bit, I've got the 05. I don't need to do this. I don't need to be doing some unnecessary work here. And also it's more towards the front of the door, so what I'm going to do is move it to the front, increase the size of it a little bit. No, let's not do that. To about, what was it? It was about 62%. There we go, that's better. Do that there. And what we're going to do, duplicate on the other side, and there we go. So that side is now done. And now what we're going to do is the front. Now we're going to do a little bit because you notice there are a couple of black circular things on the end, on the front of the machine. I was thinking about doing the whole width, but I've realised it doesn't look great. So what I'm going to do is just restrict it to a tiny section on the front bumper, duplicate it, there we go, done. Body 2, which is the bonnet, I'm going to have to put the number in because on both versions it has the number at the front as well as the sides. And I realised here I could make it a little bit bigger. So what I'm going to... what I was going to do was doing that. Hold on a minute, that's the wrong number, matey. There we go, that's the right number. So what I'm going to do here is increase the size a little bit to what it was on the sides. And there we go, 05, that's that one. Well, that's done. The number's done on the front. I also noticed on the anime version there are a couple of black lines as well. So this is mainly based on GX, as I mentioned, but it's got a little bit of anime version in it too. So I'm paying tribute to both versions. And that pink colour does look, it does look the part. So what I'm going to do for the grill section is to put a little bit of black on it. Now this took a little bit of time for me to get right because first I had to make sure it covered all the grills, and then I also had to make sure that it also looked correct. Ooh, hello. Yeah. Get that. No, that's not right. Yeah. Come on. And then I realised, nah, change it to square because that's easier to work with. So what I'm going to do here is just resize it so that it looks absolutely spot on. Okay. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do is duplicate on the other side, and that's that one done too. Right, for the last section, we are going to move on to the roof, because it had a few black lines on the top as well. So roof section, thank you. What we're going to do here is select decor, going to use the rectangular one with the little bit of the sides, like so. Yep, that's one. Now this is narrow. So what I'm going to do is fit it between the lines of the square. So it's going to be tiny here. And then squeeze like out, like so. So we fit it in between. Okay, yep, there we go. And fill it black. As I mentioned earlier, I can't use special colours, so I have to use the colours given to me. Duplicate on the opposite side. And what I'm going to do again is duplicate it and move it to the rear, because there's one at the rear, none at the front. So move that, turn that 90 degrees to make sure it fits on the rear, and finito. No, hold on, that's not right. Come on, and finito. Yeah. And that is done. There's the preview of the machine as it was done. If you did enjoy this video, this was a quicker video because it took a little bit less time than it would normally. Please leave a like, subscribe, share the video, leave a comment in the comment section below. Next time around, we'll be doing the Wild Goose. And also, because I filmed this on Christmas Day, have a very happy Christmas and a very prosperous and happy New Year, everybody. We'll be continuing the Gran Turismo stuff next week, and along with this too. So, until next time, this has been Captain JJ with the Fire Stingray recreation. And until next time, it's goodbye from me.